Well, hello painting friends. Today I was going to do a really quick, I hope it's quick, cloud painting tutorial. A very simple one. Now I go for effects, not realism. So keep that in mind as you're painting clouds. So we're going to start with, this is just a faux painted sky. And I'll show you another one, a different color that I had done. And here's some clouds in a sunset type sky or sunrise, and I just was kind of practicing. I was practicing on blending, I'm sorry, colors, and I did that one, and I thought you might like to know how to make some easy clouds. Okay, so for my brushes, I'm going to use a 3/4 inch scruffy. This comes in the value pack or the multi-pack that I often recommend. Because I use them all the time. These are the Donna Dewberry one stroke. They're really good value. You get 10 in there. The last I saw the price was like $18 for all of the brushes. I think there's 10. That's why it's called a 10 pack. And then also I'm going to show you how to do it with one of these little sponges. So first let's do with the scruffy brush. And what I'm going to do here, I may have to get my other piece up here so I have room to do lots of clouds. I'm going to show you how I load it. So here's the scruffy. This is the long way. See how it's longer this way than it is this way? And I'm just going over to my white and I'm tapping into the corner of it. Let me just show you on this side. Tapping into the edge of it, and I bring it out and I kind of tap my brush. Tap the brush out, work it away because I want to not have too much paint in my brush. And you notice I only have it right there. I don't have it all the way across. And then I'm just going to start and move my brush as I go along and do my cloud shapes. You want to make humps and bumps, and I'm moving my brush like this as I'm doing it. Go up. And then as it starts to fade, because you're running out of paint, bring it down so you get an area that is just barely seeing some white. And if you want to scruff your brush across, it should be dry enough that it doesn't smear it completely, but it does soften. And trail it out, and then go back and reload. I'll reload. I'll show you how I reload right there. Into the edge. Work it out so there's not too much. And you can add a touch, bright white up there. You see how it brightens it up a little bit right along the edge. And then bring it down. Bring it out. Decide how big you want your cloud ahead of time. These things can keep growing on you if you don't do that. And I'm moving my brush like this and getting that. Bring it down as it fades. Bring it down, bring it down. Now reload. Same way. And then start down here. Now don't go all the way up. You want that little white that's faded out to show right there. And keep going. Reload as you see fit. And brighten this area. Pull this one out. Make it come down. It could be fatter at this end. And you see how you can see the blue coming through right there. That's excellent. That's what you want. And you can make these as billowy as you want. You see how this one is just a smaller cloud. And if I wanted to like bring up the white on parts of it, just to give it a hint of more, or like this brighter up there, then do it. Oops, see, I drug it right there. That's okay. Some of the clouds have streaks, etc. So that's basically how you do it with the scruffy brush. And if you wanted like clouds that are fainter, thinner, you just go in when it's dried off, or you don't have as much paint, and you start painting in there. Or you can dust it off on a towel and then go in, and then it doesn't have as much paint on it. Okay, that's the scruffy brush. Now there's also the smaller scruffy, so you could do smaller clouds, or if you want to highlight just small areas, that works too. So we're going to do the sponge. Now I'm going to load it. This is dry, very dry sponge. And so I loaded it, and then I'm just going to kind of tap it off. Make sure I don't have too gloppy of the paint, because start smaller, you can always grow. And then you just tap it on there the same way you do the scruffy brush. You just tap it on there, and as you're losing paint, or as it's getting drier, less paint in there, move it down. If you want to blend it in, just softly go across. Add more. I try to keep it as small as possible. That way I can, if I want to bring just touches of brighter up there, I can do it. And brighten an area right here, I could do it. Not the whole thing. And then I'm gonna, oops, see, I have too much paint. I'm glopping it in there. So now I need to blend that in. Blend, blend, blend. Leave gaps. And it's getting, you can go out this way. How it's fading out, you notice it's not real stark. If you want to add a touch of brightness in a few areas, then do so. So maybe I want a little bit brighter right there. And there you have simple clouds with just white. Now you notice some clouds, they have like a gray in them. Sometimes it could be a pure blue sky, but at the base they have a touch of gray or a dark area. You could do just white. Remember that, simple, easy, white. Now I've got my sponge, still got the white in it. I'm touching into a steel gray. This is Plaid Folk Art Steel Gray, and I'm just getting a touch of that gray in there, and then I'll just bring it in here at the base. It is very faint, but it will show up in your cloud in little areas. So it'll give it a touch of dimension along the bottom. Can you see that? I made it a little darker. Remember, acrylics dry darker than they are wet many times. So just keep that in mind, and you see how it's just, and you don't want to do every portion. You want it to have like a little bit here and there. And then it just gives it an added dimension. Now I would hesitate to go up here with it because it's hard to control the sponge. If you wanted to add a touch of gray up in there, I would use one of my scruffy brushes. I would get gray in the brush and then make sure I could barely see it, and then bring it in there. And you can see there's a very faint hint of it going in there. And that, my friends, is super simple, easy, fluffy clouds that even a beginner can do. So I will see you in the next video.